Okay. Excellent. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stephen R. Shelton. I'm opening the public hearing on a request by Michelle and Ali Hussein for vacation rental. That would be pursuant to a conditional use permit application PLCUP 210002. I'm currently handling matters virtually, as you're well aware. And during virtual hearings, just please keep your mics muted unless you're speaking. That way we don't pick up comments that shouldn't be picked up or simply noise that might interfere with the recording. Uh, like I said, my name is Stephen R. Shelton. I'm a deputy hearing examiner for Gig Harbor. I'll preside over these matters today. I'm also a deputy hearing examiner for Thurston County and Pierce County and various cities and towns in Pierce County. The order of the proceedings today will be, I've opened it. Then Mr. Jeremy Hammer will be providing a staff report, kind of an overview of the application. And then Michelle and Ali, you'll have an opportunity to speak if you choose to make your presentation. Since this is a relatively formal proceeding called quasi-judicial, individuals who are speaking will be placed under oath prior to testifying, just so we can be assured comments are made seriously and truthfully. Then we'll have an opportunity if anyone from the public appears. So far, I don't see anyone on the list, but this is a public hearing. So if individuals wanted to appear, they certainly could appear just to observe as if they'd walk into City Hall. Here virtually, they can appear by virtually, and also they can speak if they so choose. If anyone does come in from the public and speaks, they'll also be placed under oath. Once I've taken in the public testimony today, I'll be most likely closing the public hearing. Sometimes I keep it open for additional information to be submitted, but most likely not today. And then there's a time frame, 10 business days, for me to issue a written decision. And when the written decision is issued, there's also some verbiage accompanying that regarding any appeals or requests for reconsideration. So the only request I'd have for the two of you is make sure we have a good email address for you. Make sure we have a good mailing address for you, because any document you want to receive readily. So that's the introduction. And like I said, this is quasi-judicial, quasi-formal, but still, it's not a court proceeding. I was a judge for 20 years, and I found in court I needed to be a little more formal than I am in hearings, but still, it's along the same type of context. So at this time, just make a record that the applicants are present. And Mr. Hammer, would you please raise your right hand? Just swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth before the examiner today. If you will, just please state, I will. I think you're maybe muted.
I will.
Yes, thank you, sir. Okay, please state your name.
Jeremy Hammer, Associate Planner, City of Gig Harbor.
Okay, thank you, sir. And would you like to make a statement as to the staff report and any comments you think are relevant?
Yes, I've prepared a little statement here. Good afternoon, everyone. We're here for the hearing examiner's decision on the Hussein vacation rental conditional use permit, which is encompassed in PLCUP 210002. The proposed vacation rental would operate at 3505 Ross Avenue, owned by Ali and Michelle Hussein. The proposed vacation rental would operate out of existing single-family residence on site, which is a 2,746 square foot residence. The vacation rental would serve as short-term lodging for up to 3 bedrooms. The use is commonly called an Airbnb or VRBO, but is regarded in the Gig Harbor Municipal Code as a lodging level 1 use. Lodging level 1 may be conditionally permitted in the R1 zoning district, which the site is located. The applicant has prepared a conditional use permit justification letter in support of the request, which is included as attachment or exhibit B to the staff report. The 0.0138 acre site is located within the R1 single family residential zoning district, as well as the historic district, and is surrounded on all sides by R1 zoning and historic district. The site has a slight slope down towards the northeast at an approximate 6% grade. Access to the site will be provided from Ross Avenue. The site does not contain any regulated critical areas, and the scope of the application is exempt from SEPA. All proper noticing was provided for this application and public hearings. Staff received 3 comments for the notice of application. Those comments are included as exhibits E, F, and G to the staff report. The comment included in exhibit E was submitted by Tommy Kent Smith in support of the proposal. The comment included as exhibit F was submitted by Tom Omlin, also in support. City received 1 comment in response to the notice of application from the Squaxin Island Tribe of Indians, stating that the Squaxin Tribe of Indians would concur with recommendations from the Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation, should any recommendations be provided to the city. However, no recommendations were provided from the Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation related to this proposal. City received 3 comments in response to the notice of public hearing at the time the staff report was prepared. A letter from Tommy Kent Smith included with the staff report as exhibit K, a letter from Susan Spadoni indicating that the vacation rental is currently listed online, included with the staff report as exhibit L. Staff reviewed, we also received 1 comment following the preparation of the staff report, which has been included as an addendum to the staff report sent to the examiner, and that requests that the comment letter be added as exhibit M. The public comment was from Ken Malich with concerns over parking as well as the lack of owner occupancy for the short-term vacation rental. Staff has reviewed the proposed conditional use request for consistency with all relevant provisions of the City of Gig Harbor's Municipal Code and Comprehensive Plan. The analysis is detailed in section 8 of the staff report, which I will summarize now. The proposal is consistent with city's definition of lodging level 1 set forth in Gig Harbor Municipal Code section 17.04.444, which is defined as a single-family residence which provides overnight lodging for guests and may provide meals for overnight guests, not to exceed 5 guest rooms. Lodging level 1 is conditionally permitted in the R1 zoning district, provided that the conditional use permit decision criteria set forth in Gig Harbor Municipal Code section 17.64.040 is met. The proposal aids in preserving the residential character already established by not proposing any interior or exterior alterations to the existing single-family residence. The proposed vacation rental is located in a manner which can be served by public facilities and street capacities without placing an undue burden on such facilities if properly conditioned. The site provides adequate parking to serve the proposed use and is located less than 500 feet from the nearest public transportation stop. Considering this analysis, staff recommends the hearing examiner conditionally approve the proposed conditional use permit for the Hussein vacation rental. Should the examiner decide to approve the CUP, staff recommends the imposition of the conditions outlined in section 10 of the staff report. That concludes my brief of the project. I am now happy to answer any questions, Mr. Examiner.
Yes, sir. Well presented, Mr. Hammer.
Thank you.
I did have a couple of questions. One, it's, I guess, echoing the question by Ms. Spadoni, noted as exhibit L. She just said, according to the public hearing notice, the applicant is applying for a permit. And there's some concern or question as to why are they currently able to rent it on Airbnb. So do you have a response to that inquiry? You're muted, sir.
Operating without the permit yet would not be, it would go against our code since it's a use that's conditionally permitted. In order to enforce that, we would rely on our code enforcement program, which is complaint-based, and we have not received any complaints regarding the use currently operating.
Okay, and another question, another comment, a couple comments were made by citizens, very, very positive, very, very supportive. In fact, I think one person was Ms. Kent, I think, noted, was it Ms. Kent that I just read?
Mrs. Spadoni was the previous one.
Right, I'm sorry. Then there was also the one from Tommy Kent, who actually submitted three comments, and each one of them got better and better and better. But one of her comments was that she supported this for a lot of different reasons. One of which was there was already several, rentals in the neighborhood. Do you know if they have the lodging permits?
I know there was one other, I believe it's at 3311 Ross Avenue, that in January they received a conditional use permit. And I believe that's the only one in the area so far.
Okay, and then a follow-up question to that, given the criteria, well, before we proceed further, are you requesting that the exhibits be made a part of the public and permanent record, Mr. Hammer?
Yes.
Okay, so I will admit the administrative record, the staff report, and then the attached exhibits that I reviewed prior to today, which was A through L. And now I've added and have already reviewed M, which was the one recently filed. Is there any discussion within the code or within the approach to these conditional use permits for rental lodging as to cumulative effect on a neighborhood?
So our current code, since it's a newer type of use, relatively speaking, these short-term rentals, our code was really set up for traditional style bed and breakfasts with that type of use. So in short, no, the cumulative effect of short-term rentals hasn't been considered in the code. City is currently they have put a moratorium on short-term rentals, and it's something that could get revisited. But at this time, there is nothing in the code.
Oh, okay. When is that moratorium issued?
What was the date on that, Cindy?
I believe it was September 27th.
Yeah, correct.
September?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just recently. So,
And if I recall correctly, I read this yesterday. I think their application was last April or May or sometime.
Correct.
correct.
Oh, and follow-up question to your recommendation for conditions. It doesn't seem like there's a request for specific conditions, but just kind of a general, category under the sections of the staff report. So usually I look towards much more specific conditions that are listed out. So the approach on the CUP is to have it more general.
Yeah, these conditions are relatively consistent with how we have permitted short-term rentals in the past, which is why.
I guess my only suggestion is, and I found this after 20 years as judge and with almost 40 years as a parent, sometimes it's good when you enter conditions that they're real specific, individually laid out.
Yeah.
That way someone can't say, well, I really didn't understand that. So that might be something to look into in the future, because I know in generally land use cases, they're very, very specific, and depending on how, like I've just finished a decision for Pierce County today that I got 42 conditions, and they're just real simple and real straightforward. You shall have a permit for this. You cannot do this.
Yeah.
That's something to think about in the future. But as far as this case is concerned, since it's obviously consistent with prior applications, then I will be issuing those conditions as you've requested. So those are the only real questions I had. I appreciate your presentation.
Thank you very much.
And now that we've ignored you for a while, let's see, let's make sure, one, I'm pronouncing your names correctly. So would you please unmute if you haven't unmuted already?
Right.
And ladies first, ma'am, would you please state your name for the record?
My name is Michelle Hussein.
Thank you, ma'am. And Mr. Hussein, please state your name for the record.
My name is Ali Hussein.
Good to see both of you very much. Would you both, I think you both might want to say more than just your name, so please raise your right hands. Each one of you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth before the examiner today. If you will, just please state, I will.
I will.
I will.
Okay, and you've probably gleaned already that I've already reviewed the file. I reviewed the statements you've made. I reviewed the site plan, and I've certainly reviewed the few comments that have been made. So this is your opportunity to make a public record of your request. So Michelle Hussein, would you like to make a statement supporting your request for the conditional use permit?
Well, I didn't prepare a statement, but I just want to first thank the community for their support. It's definitely our intention to be a good community member and to be in compliance with all of Gig Harbor's rules. So this was obviously a really important step in that direction, and we're happy to be here. And to be coming to the end of this process is a joyful moment for us. Obviously, if you have any questions for us, we're happy to answer them. I guess that's it for me. Did you have anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that Gig Harbor is really an anchor point for us.
I'm sorry, sir. Please state your name again.
Sure. My name is Ali Hussein.
Okay, please proceed.
Sure. I just wanted to say that in addition to having this community support us, we've got an anchor point, which is Michelle's sister and my brother-in-law who live there. They're members of this community, and they are all very supportive of all the different things that happen at Gig Harbor. And so we're just fortunate to be part of it.
Yeah.
And where are you right this minute?
I know it looks like we're in a basement somewhere, but we are in the best lighting we could find in our house in San Jose, California. Yeah.
That's what I thought. And I have some roots in San Jose. My grandparents lived there forever. My mom went to San Jose State. And so it's funny how things are sometimes full circle.
Yeah.
As to my review, I'm very comfortable with the presentation you've made. Also, the one revision you made regarding parking. Apparently, it's a 4-bedroom home, but you've opted to just utilize 3 of those for
Right.
The rental. Therefore, the 6 parking spots, 5.8 parking spots, I think, are sufficient. So that looks real good. Just a real other question, why are you requesting this today? I know you obviously don't live here. I'm just wondering who's lived in it in the past and why you're requesting this conditional use permit today.
Right. Well, so we bought the home only about a year ago. And part of the reason we did was because we were experiencing some pretty significant wildfire effects where we live. And every time we go to visit my sister, the air is clean, it's beautiful, we love Gig Harbor. And so we thought in terms of long-term planning, it would be really nice to have a home in Gig Harbor. And we did live in the home for 3 months during, our kids were able to do their schooling remotely, and Ollie works for Apple, he could work remotely. So that was really nice. But the goal down the road is to use it to come and visit family. We have a big family. My sister's home isn't very large, so it's really nice for us to be able to share a little more space and come whenever we want. And in the meantime, it's a beautiful home that we've put a lot of effort into furnishing and making nice. And it is nice to be able to share that with other people. It's worked out really well for us. Our friends stay there often, several different friends, several family members. So everybody knows about us. So that's kind of the intention. And then we wanted definitely to have the option of living there part-time or maybe even full-time down the road once we get a little bit older, further down that path. Our kids are both in school still, so I think we'll be in San Jose for a while, but it's been really nice just using it as a family.
Thank you, ma'am. For someone who's not preparing any sort of testimony, that was perfect. Allie, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
I'm just thankful that after 20 years of us being together, that Michelle has actually convinced me that at some point I do have to retire. And so retiring in Gig Harbor would be probably the ultimate goal. So
I can appreciate that very much. I was born and raised in the Northwest, and it's a wonderful location
Yeah.
to raise children and just to be here.
Yeah.
One aspect of this that I hadn't even thought of, and I think it was brought up by Ms. Kent, but frankly, you are providing a real service to the community, apparently with providing documents where people who come in can look at and be able to become kind of, if nothing tourists, maybe short-term residents of Gig Harbor, which frankly is very good for Gig Harbor, given the economy and given the restaurants. And so I think your individual desires also have real compatible with improving the community. So if there's nothing further, Mr. Hammer, which I am saying no, I will at this point close the public hearing and be drafting the written decision. I'll then submit that directly to Gig Harbor, and they will then transmit that to you. And anyone else who might be a party of record or might have requested a decision. It's a public record and it can be transmitted. And I wish you the very, very best. And I think your home is going to be a real positive addition to the Gig Harbor area. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Hammer. Thank you, Ms. Andrews.
Yeah,
Off the record.
your time.
Oh, is that it? Do we go? Oh. Do you want us to log off?
I'm getting ready to.
Okay.
Ms. Andrews, we're all